Welcome to this video on installing Havoc Command and Control Framework. Coming off of the Red Team Ops course and using Cobalt Strike, I wanted to find something that was open source and didn't require a licensing fee to continue on with red teaming type of work and playing with a new framework. A little Googling and I found Havoc, and this is their GitHub page. Which has some pretty good documentation about what the framework is consisting of and what it's made of and how it works and stuff like that. But they have a website that has plenty of documentation on it. And essentially installing Havoc, all you really need to do is go to this site here and then follow their installation path here. So what I'm going to do is I've already got a Ubuntu server, and I'm going to run the Havoc Teamserver on that. And then I have a Kali machine where I'm going to run the Havoc client. And I'm really just going to flow through their instructions here with maybe a couple of extra things here and there, because those are two new installs, so they won't have some of the tools that you need on them to run some of these commands. So let me just set up the environment real quick, and then I'm going to just SSH into that Ubuntu server from here and start working through the installation steps. So first off, I'm going to SSH over into the Ubuntu server. Okay, so I'm locked in over there, and I'm really just going to start copying and pasting the commands over. So first one is pulling down that repo, and let me just throw a sudo in front of that just in case. Looks good. And then I'm CDing over into Havoc. Let's go ahead and copy all this over. So Ubuntu, now we've got Kali below that, so I'm just going to keep scrolling down until I get back to where I'm working with some Ubuntu related things. So this is, I'm going to need to probably install Golang here because I likely do not have it. Let's see here. So let's see, sudo apt install. I can install these Go dependencies. So I'm going to cd into the Teamserver, and then I'm just going to copy these, and I shouldn't need it, but no, we'll just run it. If I get hit, I'll throw a sudo in front of them here. But it should be able to just fetch those. And okay, so this one was, which one is this? I'm going to run those again just with a sudo. I'll do them one at a time. That one looks like it did work. Okay. It sometimes seems like it's going to hang. Okay, so let me cd back to Havoc, and the next one is using make, so I'm pretty sure I don't have make installed on here. I could always check, but I'm pretty sure I don't. And once that finishes, I'm going to sudo that just in case. and build the Teamserver. Okay, well, my video made that seem like it was super fast. It actually wasn't. I used some editing magic. So I'm only planning on using this as the server, but I'm going to put the client on there as well, in case I wanted to play around with it later. That's interesting. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's go ahead and I'm going to modify this profile here. So let's see. And my bad, let's run that again with sudo. Alright, now I'm going to make some modifications. So let's see here. The host, which is the server, is 912.192.168.110, and it was 165, I believe. Double check that real quick. 165, yep. Okay, so that's good. And again, that's because I'm going to be connecting to this, and I'm going to leave the port as the same. You could change a bunch of stuff in here. I'm going to change the users from the default users just because. And I'm going to change the default password to something else. Again, if you're just doing this to play with it, you don't really need to worry about doing all these unless you want to. And then I'll keep that default user, but I'll change the password to the same password so I can play around with some shared Teamserver stuff. And then I'm going to just leave everything as the default and save that. And that should be good. Now I'm just going to go ahead and run this thing, get it going. See if there are issues. Yep, so it did not create a database. Interesting. Did I skip a step? And did something not build right? So just going over this stuff real quick. I'm pretty sure I did everything. Let's just check. Teamserver. Let me just make sure I don't need to be in this directory. No. Let me just see if I needed to sudo that thing. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so my bad, I should have sudoed it. Anyway, so Teamserver looks good now. Database is up and everything looks like it is working correctly. Alright, cool. So that's all set. Now let's just basically go over here and run through the same steps except for the Debian Kali side, right? And I'm going to run this as a non-root user. And I've done this before, so I definitely know there's some areas where potentially run into some issues. Okay, so now I need to just scroll down here. Let's see, so this is a long command of stuff. So let me copy, paste, sudo, yep, alright. And yeah, alright, so let me, before you go doing anything else, I'm just going to run update. And then I'm going to rerun that, and I'm pretty sure that should find all those missing packages. And actually, while I'm doing that, so since I'm going to be connecting from one host to another, I'm going to go ahead and that's running. Let me just switch over here real quick. I'm just going to create a quick firewall rule. That way I don't get hit with not being able to access. I think it's port 456. Just double check. Yeah, 456. Okay, so I'm going to set that up real quick. Alright, so I'm going to sudo, and let's do a firewall rule that I'm going to allow protocol TCP from that IP is 192.168.110.164, right? Yep, to any port 456. And that looks good. Okay, so I shouldn't have any connection issues trying to access that port from the Linux box here. And this looks like it's almost done. Okay, so again, I usually run into issues here. I'm gonna try it anyway. And I know it's because I probably don't have, and sudo you would think I would be able to right there, but let's just sudo bash this real quick. And let me run that again. Should be good. Go back to Kali user, and then even though I just did this, yep, run that again. Now I've seen that happen before too. Let me just, shouldn't need to run it like that. And I just did an update. I'm going to just roll with it because I've done that before and it seemed fine. So let me cd into the Teamserver, and because I got hit with sudo last time, I'll do these one at a time just to make sure they both go through. Okay, and I'm going to go back to the Havoc directory, and even though I'm going to just use this as a client build, I will still build out the Teamserver. And of course I should have sudoed that. When in doubt, sudo. That look, it worked alright, so let's sudo make client build here. Okay, that looked like it ran well. You see everything looks like it was built up. So we should be good. I will sudo this just because. And so far so good. So let's go ahead and load a new profile. I'm going to keep the name as a default. I'll change the host to the server IP address, which for me is 110.165, and again I can just double check that. 165 looks good. The port, I'm leaving it as default. I will switch this to my primary user, and the password that I updated in the, I think I figured that in the configuration file or the profile, and I'm going to connect. And there it is. So this is the user interface, and yeah, it looks pretty similar to Cobalt Strike. You can go back to the terminal Windows and see everything's running right here, and then again go on to the server side. We can see that the user Ricky has been authenticated, and everything looks good. So that is the install in a nutshell. We'll do a follow-on series here, probably 2 more parts that will go over basically an overview of the user interface, and then we'll kind of dive deeper into some of the ins and outs of compromising an Active Directory environment. So hopefully this helped you out.